All right, we're here at the Eagle Tribune, Burt, Hector, Longo, discussing, seems like something we discuss, not always on film, but every couple of years here in New England. A player abruptly, surprisingly leaves. At some point, we're not going to be surprised, I guess, but I'm not really surprised in retrospect looking back. I'm just surprised at 7-1 with his team looking very good, defensively maybe not. Jamie Collins is now jettisoned to Cleveland with a new number. I saw number 51, and it's going to say Collins Sr. on his shirt. Your quick thoughts, Hector, on Collins leaving?
You know, I'm stunned. As tough as I've been on Jamie Collins over the last couple of years.
You've been tough.
I've been tough on him, and he's been the most aggravating situation to me because I think they had him out of position. But you can't deny his athleticism. Mm-hmm. How do you take an athlete like that off of your defense right now in the middle of the season? It shocks me that happens.
Yeah.
8 games in.
I will say he played an awful game yesterday. In retrospect, I've seen the film. I saw the breakdown on ESPN. He looked out of his element, and now he's coming back from an injury. There was even a question if he was going to play about 6 days ago before the game. But it's surprising because this isn't September 3rd per se or August 5th. It's now 7 games in. This is really new water for Belichick, other than, I guess, the Mankins deal, I guess that was right before the season as well. But it just seems like, why now? And I don't have an explanation for it. The deadline is coming up on us right now, and it sounds like the Patriots are not going to make a deal. I guess, is Van Noy the guy?
Well, I hate to sound like such an old man because it was 15 years ago, but this has the impact of the Malloy thing. But that was the most impactful of all the cuts or trades that Bill Belichick has made. You remember that week we went up to Buffalo for that game where they got absolutely blasted
31-0.
Blasted in Buffalo, 31-0. That was a team in disarray after that move.
Short term.
Yeah, right. Okay. No, absolutely. But it was, for that week, everyone in the room felt awkward, and it just was one of the weirdest feelings. That was the initial feeling I got when the Collins thing was announced. That, man, this guy was a guy they liked in the locker room. He was well liked. This was not some odd guy who stood off to himself. He was well liked by the linebacker corps. You heard McCourty, I think the other night, talk about him not being there. LeGarrette Blount tweeting about the best linebacker in the game. Man, I'm not going to go that far, but he was such an athletic presence. Now, Sunday, you said he didn't look good. He looked a little chunky. Mm-hmm. I don't know if this injury's done something to him. That was the point that gets missed. He does look a little bit chunkier than he has in the past. But honestly, Bill, I have 2 photos on my desktop. One is LT wearing 56, and one is Jamie Collins, both turning the corner. To me, they look like the same guy. I always thought that was going to happen with him here.
But he wasn't. And this is his 3rd year. Now, I'm not saying he still isn't going to be very good. Would I have made the move? Let's go through, I think there's 15 moves. I wouldn't have made any of them. He made all 15 of them. Mm-hmm. And they all haven't worked out. Look, Belichick's made his mistakes. I'll go back to last season. Right. I believe throwing the last couple of games or really not focusing on getting home field advantage ended up probably costing them a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And a Super Bowl championship, the 5th. So this I do question, but I will say the one reason he can get away with it is this offense is so good, and arguably Brady's playing now as well as he's ever played.
Well, Brady's presence has made every decision that Bill Belichick's make a high-stakes decision. There are no minor ones here, okay? By not trying all out to win, like you said, 17 of 19 rushing plays out of the gate at Miami last year. Every decision he makes is so huge because Tom Brady raises the stakes. He puts you into the position of the AFC title game. The thing that scares me about this one is I've watched Rob Ninkovich off the line. They've been trying to make him an off-the-line linebacker, and it has not gone well. Now, I don't know if he's still working himself in from his suspension, but
he's an edge rusher.
He is a front row guy. He's not a guy who backpedals. And for that to happen now, for them to lose him now, I mean, there's been some bright spots. Robertson's looks like he's a player. They drafted him this year, pretty good-looking linebacker. And Hightower's playing solid football. Again, he looks healthier. Mm-hmm. But man, that spot where Ninkovich is kind of scares me. The kid from Detroit, I'm not sure. Mingo has not been the guy. So
good special teams player, but not a guy.
Not the impact you thought Jamie Collins.
Look, there's two guys now who are on watch, and it's Hightower, and it's the shutdown corner, Malcolm Butler. I assumed two of the three guys were staying. You know what? If you want to be one of the top 2 or 3 highest paid at your position, you're not doing it here in New England if your name's not Brady. It's not happening.
And I hate to say it because we talk about those 3 guys, where they're going to pay those 3 guys on the defense. Gronk's coming up, and that was a big part of this too. They have to pay him.
And Bennett's got
Crazed-
1 year now.
crazed
Bennett looks
dollars.
like a Patriot too. So there's a lot to talk about. This is going to be interesting. They do have the bye week, so the timing of a lot of his Belichick's moves are interesting. He does have a week to figure this out. I'm assuming it'll affect him more in the short term and the long term. You look at the NFL, there really isn't a great team,
No.
and it's as poor as this league is as poor at the top as I've ever seen it since I've covered. This has been 20-something years. I think it's the Patriots and a big chasm, even without Jamie Collins. There's a big chasm at number 2. Nobody's coming to Foxborough and going to beat the Patriots in the AFC Championship, in my opinion.
Unless Pittsburgh becomes hot, or
Their defense
that hot
isn't good
kind of
enough,
roll.
though.
But I'm just saying, somebody rolls at
Yeah,
the end.
that's-
Somebody puts together a great December.
That's
and it's
it.
rolling.
Well,
like Flacco in the
Right.
the Ravens did.
But they had a good defense, and I
Sure.
think you only beat the Patriots with a good defense. So that's it for now. We're going to try to do this a little more often. It's a great topic to discuss. The Patriots going forward, 7-1, number 1 team in the NFL, probably in 99% of the rankings out there. So we'll talk about this and try to figure out this Collins thing. It's probably going to take a while.